Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. I'm just going to jump right into it because I do want to talk to you guys about something while I'm getting my page set up. But we are going to do September 6th Paycheck. And I don't know when I'm going to be uploading this, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my channel as well. So I get a report like everyone who does YouTube content creation. You get like a monthly report that talks about your analytics. And I don't always pay attention to it, but recently I was like, you know what, let me go back and look at it because I'm just noticing some trends on my channel. And I wanted to be mindful about how I'm uploading, what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, you know, the whole 9 yards. So basically I'm going to start writing while we're talking because I want to keep this pretty concise. So September 6th, and this is my paycheck number 1. So I think there's a couple things going on. I am not retaining viewers after a certain amount of minutes, and that's unfortunate, you know, that people fall off, but it's also just the nature of things. I think even TikTok has retention issues for people, and those videos are super short in a lot of cases. So I'm just gonna start listing my fixed expenses. So that being said, that can really hurt your viewership. So if your retention isn't great, then the platform where you're uploading is not going to continue to push your videos. So they're kind of going to either remain in limbo or they're going to start being a detriment to your channel overall. And that's kind of the predicament I'm finding myself in. So when I was going back and I was looking at my videos from a long time ago, I'm going to start listing the amounts. I was looking at, you know, how many views I would get when I first started versus probably at the height of my channel's, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it success, but you know, the best I did over the course of my channel's life. And that was probably during the pandemic. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think a lot of people were just consuming a ton of content because everybody's at home and, you know, there wasn't a whole lot to do and get a picture of the outside world unless you were on the internet. You know, it was just, that's how it was. So I think that had something to do with it. I also think my husband losing his job, strangely enough, helped my channel because my financial situation became very volatile. And I think that whenever there's, you know, kind of a shakeup of your normal routine, I think that makes for more interesting content because it's, you know, it's out of the norm. It's unusual. So now I'm going to start adding up my variables and then I'll go over these. So some of my past videos would get thousands of views, and I, you know, went through the rabbit hole with my depression and my anxiety getting the best of me, and I felt very unmotivated about creating videos after that had happened. And it was all on me. It had nothing to do with, you know, YouTube. It had nothing to do with anything else but myself. And so I let my channel fall by the wayside. In the meantime, the community's changed. You know, not only the budgeting community, but there was a different type of videos coming out. TikTok, you know, started to gain some traction, a ton of traction, I should say, not some. And the way people were watching and consuming content started to change. And so you've heard many things over the years like do short videos, do long videos, do this video. But at the end of the day, what's most important is whatever videos that you're doing, they be something that people tune in and stay tuned in. And that's actually not happening with my channel. So every time I upload, which is almost daily, for a while it was daily for a couple months, but every time I upload, basically what's happening is I just lose subscribers. So I'm going backwards. And making videos is, I mean, if you know, making videos is a lot of work. And you certainly don't want to do all that work of recording, plotting out your videos first. Now I'm adding up all my subscriptions and doing all that only so you could go backwards. I mean, that's just not how anything in life works or how you want your momentum to go. So I decided to switch things up a little bit, change things, and it could still be for nothing. It could not make a difference at all, or it could make all the difference in the world. And I want to start making shorter videos that are more concise. And then maybe if I'm getting my point across and, you know, the things that I want to talk about across in a shorter amount of time, maybe that will help with my retention. Or it could just be that I'm just not for everybody. Now, I do think that I was probably one of the early on budget channels, you know, about people talking with real numbers, because it's been a long time since I started my channel. And back then, there weren't a ton of people doing budgeting content where they would show you their paychecks and talk about their bills and be very transparent and open. And I think, you know, since then, a lot of that has changed. And I think the stigma around talking about money has also changed. I don't think it's as taboo as it once was. I mean, for me, I just don't see what the taboo is anyway, because I don't think that any of you who are watching my videos or any budgeting videos are watching them with, you know, a fine lens because you're trying to judge somebody for making too much money, for making not enough money, for not making enough effort, for spending unwisely. You know, there's so much that goes into household finances, personal finances. And anybody who's doing content like this is really opening up their life and putting it out there. This is how I spend my money. You know, do you agree? Do you disagree? And while I think that constructive criticism and feedback is always very important and can be super helpful, you guys have given me so many things to think about, and I've adopted some of the things that you've told me and tried different things. And so I think that I also gain a lot from having a channel like this, because it just helps me, you know, when I'm just trying to analyze or assess. And then I look at things a different way. So just by you guys being here and leaving your comments and everything, it's a true help to me. So all that being said, I'm saying this because I'm going to try shorter videos. I'm not going to try to get into the 20 minutes plus area any longer, and I'm going to see if it helps. If you guys have any other ideas, please let me know, because right now I'm such a newbie on TikTok, but I'm getting way more videos on TikTok than I am over here. Now, I know the audience has expanded. It's a lot bigger, and I'm not saying my analytics are good over there, because they are not. So my retention, it pretty much sucks over there too. However, I'm just getting more exposure, and I think that that's what anybody wants when they're making videos. You don't want to make them and put the effort in to fail. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. Let's talk about this, because you've been watching me record everything. My paycheck number one, it has gone up. I'm thrilled. So it hasn't gone up a lot. You guys know my paychecks have been like $16.80 some, things like that. Or is it $16.90 some? I don't know. It didn't go up a ton, but we got our what's considered a 2% increase. So that's what we get. And that doesn't equal very much. So as you can see, it went up about, I don't know, maybe $30, maybe less, but still an increase is an increase. So if I get that twice a month, you know, there's one of my trips to get gas for my car. But anyways, 17, 20, 10, and then my fixed expenses, I really made this paycheck stretch. And I'm also going to show you that I am doing what I consider to be zero-based budgeting. So if I can get my final remaining amount less than $1, I'm calling that zero-based, and I'm calling it a win. So for electric, we're at $159.09. Gas, these are my utilities, $98.50. Trash, $35. Car number one, $320.76, and cell phones, $180. So these are a little bit in a different order, because when I was looking at my paychecks as a whole and the month as a whole, I decided to switch things up when I'm paying them, and that's okay. I can kind of change when I'm paying electric versus this week versus next week, whatever, because I pay my bills, my fixed expenses, a month in advance. So it's not going to hurt anything, and I'm not going to miss any deadlines. For variable expenses, we're going to do $175 for groceries as per usual. Same thing with dog food and gas. The gas is 2 vehicles 1 week, so it's $50 a car. Gas has gone down in my area a little bit, so I'm actually quite thrilled with that. So I think the $100 when we fill up might end up fitting the bill for a while. Before, we weren't really, like, I was never really on empty, but it would still be over $50. And so I think now it's gonna be even better. So this is the time frame for just these 3 items alone. So the other items this doesn't affect, but this is for the time frame of September 8th through the 14th. So a prescription for us is $65, a prescription for my dog $55, and miscellaneous is getting $20, and then property taxes are getting $350, and my $1 through $100 savings challenge is getting $35. So I'm going to fill in the $35 pocket. And the property taxes, we do not escrow, and we also do not escrow our homeowners insurance. So I just wanted to put that out there because we pay those separately. And I'm starting to pay the taxes 6 months at a time. So that's kind of new for me too. Hulu, Netflix, Car Wash, iCloud, Canva, XM Radio, and Paramount. So these are the subscriptions that we are into. So those total $96. So I am ready to do my receipt. So the income was $17.20, which again, I'm very happy for any extra whatsoever. I mean, I know that's really not cost of living, but it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? $793.35 are fixed. My variables were $445, or are $445. Subscriptions totaled $96. Now the subscriptions I'm paying actually for September, I don't pay those in advance. The only thing I pay in advance are fixed expenses. Variable, savings, all that, that's the same month. And savings is getting $385. And yes, I do know that I'm saving only to cash that out in 6 months, but that's okay because that's sometimes what sinking funds are for. So that's all right with me. So this brings us to a grand total of $1719.35. And that leaves me with a remaining 75 cents. And that is a zero-based budget. So what we're gonna start doing is we are going to start marking when we go zero-based. I hope this doesn't go through. So I'm gonna put it down here. Ooh, this is the wrong end to use. So we're going to do something like that when we reach this, just to note that that was zero-based. Did that bleed through? Not too bad. But yes, zero-based. So I'm very excited. So thank you so much for watching. I am going to actually do a stuffing video where I stuff last paycheck's sinking funds and these as well. So I'm going to do that separately. Again, I want to keep these as short as possible. If you're on TikTok, I'm over there as well. My link is in the bio, or the description rather. And if you didn't get my September budget workbook kit, you still can do that. And October is coming. I hope you guys love it, and I'll see you guys next time.